CRISPR Therapeutics, this is one of my favorite companies. It might change the world and it might change your life. I'm going to give you my thesis on why, an interesting thesis that you probably never heard about. There's actually few reasons why this company will probably succeed. But one quite interesting reason that we're going to get into in a moment on why this company is quite unique in a way that you probably haven't heard of. But before I jump into that, let's talk a little bit about what is changing in the biotech world. I actually spoke to, if you watched one of my other videos, Siren Biotechnology. I spoke to the CEO of this company right here, Nicole Pollock, Dr. Nicole Pollock. Awesome lady. Check out that video if you haven't. It's not with her. I was just reviewing the website, but what they do is pretty cool. And what she's explaining to me is that in biotech right now, it used to cost $1 to $2 billion to fund a drug, and that drug would take 10 to 15 years to get FDA approval and develop, and then after it would just solve one problem. Now, instead of $1 to $2 billion, instead of 10 to 15 years, it's about 5 to 6 years and about $100 million or 200. It's an order of magnitude less and almost triple the time less. And the best part is most of these gene therapy drugs that these companies are developing are not solving one problem. They're going to be able to solve multiple problems. Just here, they're actually trying to solve for pretty much all cancers. And it's a one solution, a one-time therapy, and it's for the rest of your life. Not chemotherapy where you have to come back, and also there's side effects. Forget the side effects here, but also most things you have to take a pill for the rest of your life. And that's why by the time people are, in their 60s and 70s, they have tens of pills a day that they have to take. Being able to just take one gene therapy, really, not a drug. But that's what CRISPR is actually solving for. And there's actually companies solving for that in different ways. And I'm not sure who's going to be the right one. It could be something, an iPhone, where that kind of took market share, and BlackBerry, Nokia, Motorola, all the other shitty phones didn't succeed. But one thing's for sure, with the regulation changes, with CRISPR being the company that it is, they're probably in a really good position to probably win the market. And if they don't, it might not be the multiple players in the space. I haven't even gone to that. This is a little chart, and I'm not sure how accurate what the time is, but just to even show you a brief idea here. Companies have to go through preclinical trials in phase 1, 2, 3, and then ultimately after 3, they're able to go to market. And as you can see here, there's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, it looks there's 5. It's a little hard to see. I recognize one of these with a Z. I don't remember the name of it. It's a drug for babies. Most of these are actually for babies. But as you can see, there's tons and tons of gene therapies coming. And we are in the very, very early stages of this. There's only 5, and they're all really for little kids because those are important and rushed and the most funded because it's babies dying. That's so easy to get funding for, whereas a lot of these are not. It's just also a matter of time and not even funding. So the cool thing is this is coming. It's in 2007, we knew smartphones were the better phones, and who's going to use flip phones anymore. So it was just a matter of which smartphone device is the right one. Here, it might not be that way. It might not be picking the iPhone. But as you can see, there's tons of different companies. Whoops. And you can see CRISPR is here. CRISPR is actually, they have one here. It looks like stage 3. Oh, approved. Oh, that's right. CRISPR does have one approved. They actually just saved a baby. It looks there's actually quite a lot there's. Let's give you a little bit of reference here. We haven't even gone to the thesis yet. 5 years ago, there were no gene therapies in 2020. The first one came out. Now in 2025, there's only been 5. I think more now, but to the last I know, there's only 5. And so basically about 1 every year has been approved. The amount that's going to grow is going to be much much more here. Wait, let's see this. What is this? Um, found phase one. Okay. Um, I'm not sure if there is a chart showing the amount of gene therapies that are going to be growing are going to be, it's basically exponential. We're at the very, very beginning of the hockey stick. And funding for it really dried down ever since the 2021 hype, when I guess when companies realized, well, barely any gene therapies are being approved. It's one every year or something. That's that's why invest. So the companies went down and things got slow, but now things are really starting to pick up. People are investing, the valuations are actually making more sense, and companies like CRISPR actually have products and things. Let's see their pipeline. They have different, they're also solving for some cancer related things. They're trying to do different things. But the cool thing about CRISPR is also that they invented, or rather discovered, it wasn't an invention, it was a discovery, the CRISPR discovery of the fact of editing your genes. They discovered that, and I don't know exactly how they patented it. From my understanding, when you discover something, I don't know, but they make money from licensing. If anyone uses CRISPR to edit their genes or something, they make money from that. Now, there's different types of CRISPRs. They have CRISPR-Cas, and I'm not exactly sure what that means. Here, CRISPR-Cas9. It's a type of way to edit your genes, but there's different ones. I know there's like Cas13, I think, which a different company, Editas, use, which we can get into a whole separate video about. I can run you through guys through some other companies. So just you saw there's other companies to possibly invest in. One thing's for sure, gene editing and the biotech companies will start. There will be a boom, and there probably will be one definite major winner. I don't know who it will be. You can spread your eggs in multiple baskets or pick one. I like to pick CRISPR as my one, but there are some other ones, and they're quite interesting because the founder of CRISPR, which is the thesis I want to get to, sits on the board of the other ones too. So, for example, Editas, I think it is, yeah, Editas Medicine. The founder of CRISPR sits on their board, and also one of the founders or co-founders or whatever exited CRISPR and founded this guy. I don't remember his name. I don't know the story. I could be completely wrong on a lot of this, but and then there's Intellia, something like that, Intellia Therapeutics. So there's multiple different brands, and these are all also in the stock market. You can invest in them. This is probably at a $8-9 price right now. But more importantly, the market cap is what we actually look at here, which is sitting, I don't remember honestly. It doesn't matter. Not the biggest fan of this one. If you want, do your own due diligence and check those out. But we're going to talk about CRISPR and why they're so interesting. So the founder of CRISPR, her name is Jennifer Doudna. She won a Nobel Prize for discovering CRISPR, for discovering editing your genes. That's quite incredible. In 2020, nice, right when everything started to take off, it seems. And so she is, I believe, a scientist, biochemist, and so she's very well renowned, very respected, probably quite wealthy now. And the thesis that I really about her is Walter Isaacson. If you've heard of this guy, Walter Isaacson, you're about to realize why you've heard of this guy. He wrote the book on Elon Musk and Steve Jobs. Followed them both around for 2 or 3 years or something. I think 2 years. And basically got to write a book about them. They let them do that. Let him do that. So he's one of the most famous book writers on writing biography, or is it autobiographies? Biographies on other people. And the people he chooses are quite interesting. You can see his book choices. We have Einstein, we have Benjamin Franklin, Steve Jobs, the GOAT, of course, and Leonardo da Vinci, Henry Kissinger. Okay. Um, really? That's interesting. Yeah, it is about Henry Kissinger. Hmm. But we have Einstein. And what is the innovators? The innovators is not about a certain person, but you can get the idea here. He writes books about people who change the world and who are quite revolutionary. And so Jennifer Doudna, the founder of CRISPR, he wrote a book about her, 2021, right after the Nobel Prize. So at the peak of where she's now, everything went down, but she's gonna make a comeback. I'm gonna link a YouTube video that's quite interesting. Cleo Abram interviewed her. It's a great interview if you want to learn about her. I will say she's not all that, extravagant, of course, or even maybe Steve Jobs, but like a business lady. So the thing she does, that's why what's also interesting here is the book title isn't about her. It's not even her name. It's called The Code Breaker. So it's actually about what she did, the technology, right? Not about her. So I think it's quite interesting that he chose all these people and then he chose to write a book about her technology because it's probably going to change the world. And if it's her in the book, I haven't read it, then I'm sure it's going to be related to CRISPR and she is behind it all. So I'm sure she's going to want it to succeed. And basically, what I'm trying to say here is this is an awesome signal that this guy chooses innovators, he chooses people who change the world, and he chose CRISPR to write basically a book about CRISPR. Unlike any of these, this is not really about Apple, this is not really about Tesla, this is about the people, but this one is pretty much about CRISPR. I mean, let's just look at the quick. It's about gene editing, the future of the human race. That's pretty much the title. I think that's quite interesting. It's just a random thesis or signal that you probably haven't heard about CRISPR and why I think it's quite different than the rest of the companies, or at least why biotech is quite different and that it's going to be changing the world. Walter Isaacson is a little early there, but I believe he's right, and I think it's a signal. If you think so too, or you don't, I wonder what your thoughts are. Let me know in the comments. Either way, thank you for watching.